Good morning, YouTube. Today is Tuesday, February 6th. And well, frankly, our economy is stronger than we want it to be. Good morning, Tom and Anthony. As interest rates have, let's not call it skyrocketed, have gone back up over the last week or so.
Are you sure Gary Habib wasn't talking about the death cross a couple weeks ago?
He lied to me. He told me about this cross, this golden cross, where rates are going to go up, and now we're trending towards 7 again. Fortunately, but unfortunately, I think the good news is we've all learned that the U.S. economy it's just a strong economy. Don't matter who's at the top there. We all get up, we put our pants on, we go to work every day, and the U.S. economy can't be taken down overnight. So that's good news. Bad news is mortgage rates aren't going to be dropping like a rock, like other people have said when the Fed made their comments at the end of December. Fed Pow goes on 60 Minutes. We have a little bit of good economic news, and now you have 3-4 bad days of rates in a row, and things are trending towards 7. So a little bit of a crazy world. I think it just shows more and more anything the Fed says can be overturned with new updated comments. So we got to kind of take it 1 month at a time, but definitely a little bit of a shocker here last week coming into this week where rates are headed. Anthony, you got anything to add there?
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately a lot of people were waiting for these rates to get down to, COVID levels, and that's definitely not happening, but I mean, they are decreasing. We've seen that over the past 2 months. And I think people need to just, take advantage of it, make sure the payment works for them. And, I know we've been saying it for weeks, man, but if it's the right time to refinance in the future, you always have the ability to do so.
Yeah, for sure. Again, no one can predict where these rates are going. And I'm sure no one who was at 6.375, let's say 2 weeks ago, and are now at 6.875, saw that coming. And because all the economic signs were pointing to good news, and this is what the Fed's going to do. And then boom, you have a plethora of economic news just isn't what people expected. And it just shows you this economy is a new economy. It's almost like throw history out the door. No one knows what's going to happen here. We're just buckled up and trying to give you the most up-to-date information as possible.
Yeah, I think that's the best that we could do for our realtor partners as well as our clients that are buyers. I mean, just keep giving them updates to add where the rates go every day, because frankly, we don't know where they're going now. They could go either way. We know certain days, different economic data does come out, and we know it could change one way, up, down. But as you could see Friday and yesterday, we didn't see that coming at all. So I think the best we can do for our partners is just give them updates.
And that's what we're doing. But one thing we can control in the topic of today's show is debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio is the number one factor, along with credit score, to get qualified for a mortgage. But again, I feel like a lot of agents, a lot of buyers hear the phrase debt to income ratio, but as soon as you start getting into it, it's like, what the heck are you talking about? Debt to income ratio is all of your debts, including a new home, compared to your income. And that tells us how much you can qualify in the mortgage world. So it's very, very important. And that is part of the pre-approval process, is us calculating your debt to income ratio. But I get this a lot at home. Like, is there any way that I can try to figure out how much I could qualify for a home? And it's really hard to do without a pre-approval, but we're going to do a little role-playing game because it works so well. Anthony and Tom did so good last week with FHA and conventional that we're going to do it again today. And one of them is going to be debts and one of them is going to be income. And then I'm going to be a new housing payment coming up. So the biggest thing, what I feel like that most buyers forget about when they're trying to calculate their debt to income ratio, is the new home. You have to calculate this new home, this new debt, into your debt to income ratio. There was another big misconception is, well, now they've come back, but when student loans weren't being paid, hey, I'm not paying on those, so I don't have to count them. There's a lot of different mortgage guidelines out there where we still have to count student loans, even if you're not paying them, into the calculation of debt to income ratio. So there's, I don't know, how big are those Fannie guides, Tom? I think you've printed them out.
Don't quote me, but they're like 1,192 pages.
Yeah, so I mean, the Fannie Mae guides alone are about 2,000 pages. Obviously, there's a lot of guidelines that go into mortgages, but just to do a quick idea, to get out your trusty calculator at your home, that item that was told you'll never have in your pocket all the time, that you better learn how to do this math. Again, same thing like hands on the knees, right, Tom? You were always told never put your hands on your knees playing baseball, and now science comes out and it says the best thing to do to get air into your lungs is put your hands on your knees.
It's crazy. My soccer coaches growing up the whole way, they always told me hands on your head, stop being a sissy, come on.
Yep.
No hands on your knees, and it's proven.
Yep.
So
I'm about to call
all my coaches out there.
Yeah,
maybe watching this.
I'll give you my phone number.
Hands
I got
on the
a lot
knees.
of coaches too. I expect an apology on all those 90s dads that were yelling at us for hands on the knees. Anth, we know you were in high school by the 90s, so this is a little bit early for you, but
I was not.
But his first job, right? His first job.
Just saying, it's crazy how some of those things you're taught at as a kid, and now it's not true. But okay, so getting in the debt to income ratio. If you're trying to figure out, if you're with a client or you're at home and you're a buyer and you just want to figure out what the heck is this debt to income ratio, first, always talk to a licensed loan officer. We're going to start there with that caveat. But if we play a little role playing game, we'll make Anthony the income. Okay, he's your monthly income. Tom is going to be monthly debts. I will be the new mortgage payment. So when we first figure out Anthony, all right, when we figure out your monthly income, first we're going to figure out your annual income, and then we're going to divide it by probably 12 months, or it might be 52 weeks, or it might be 24 pays, it might be 26 pays. Everyone's pay is a little bit different. And again, that's why calculating income is kind of difficult. But let's just have some fun here. Okay, Anth? Let's just say, well, you tell me, what's your gross monthly income? And again, before tax monthly income. Tell me what we're working with here.
Say 3,600.
3,600 a month. Anthony is bringing in pre-tax. All right. So we have that number there. So maybe Anthony's paid salary, right? He just divided his income divided by 12, boom, 3,600. Biggest misconception we get, buyers will put their net pay after tax. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know how you want to look at it. In the mortgage world, you use the pre-tax to gross income to qualify. All right, so we got our 3,600. Now, Mr. Debt. Tom, this is not a cell phone bill. This is not an electric bill. Tom is debts that you will find on a credit report. This is going to be a credit card. This is going to be a car payment. This is going to be student loans, personal loans, anything that you applied for credit for. Now,
also child support and alimony can feed into that as well.
Also child support and alimony, things like that are debts you pay every month. That's what we need to calculate here for your monthly debt. Biggest problem we get on the debt side. Someone will tell me, I got $10,000 in credit card debt. Frankly, I don't care how much you have total, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I need to know that monthly payment. And it's the minimum monthly payment. It's not what you're paying every month. It's that minimum monthly payment. That's what's used to calculate debt to income ratio. So, Tom, maybe you have a car. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have some credit cards. You have a student loan. What is your monthly debt number?
I have to pay $400 on my car,
That's it?
$200 on my student loans,
Okay.
and I got another $300 on 3 different credit cards that I have to pay a month, leaving me with or giving me $900 a month in total debts.
Okay. There you go. 900 a month. Okay. So there you go. Now we're going to say, so we have 2 of the 3 parts of the transaction here. We have Anthony with his income of 3,600. We have the total debts of 900. Now, let's say I want to buy a house it's a small, I'm not married. It's a small little house. I have no kids, just $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month mortgage. That's all we're looking to do. So now I have to add, me and Tom are added together for my total debt of the 1,900. And now I do 1,900 divided by 3,600. And guess what, boys? We got a problem. That's a debt to income ratio of 52%. We may be able to get that approved, maybe a government, an FHA loan, but conventional, we're probably going to be capped at 50, sometimes 45%. So in this case, you would have trouble qualifying for this home if we were trying to qualify for that scenario. Now, again, someone may try to do this at home and they only calculate their current debt. They're going to say, I got $900 of debt. I make $3,600 a month. I can buy a house. I'm good. I have a 25% debt to income ratio. But they didn't add the current home. And that has to be added. Also, on the flip side, if you own a current home and you don't want to sell first, I get it. It's hard to get a property contingent and sold. But you have to add your current mortgage debt and the new mortgage debt. Not everyone can qualify for 2 mortgages, and that's hard to do. I mean, that's the system is made to you kind of be able to qualify for 1 mortgage. So just remember that out there. If you're agents, not everyone can qualify for 2 mortgages.
No, that's a good point. I mean, we get that a lot. We can't do the home sale contingency. Their offer won't get accepted, but unfortunately, that buyer might not have another option other than to do the home sale contingency.
Right. I mean,
it's all with affordability, and that's what we're calculating everything off of that we do every day is affordability.
That's it. That's about all we got. So that's debt to income ratio for you on this Tuesday. You guys got anything to add?
No.
I think we're going to have some type of Super Bowl special on Friday.
All right. Well, let's do that. How many times is Taylor Swift mentioned? And maybe we can do some math because Taylor's going to be in Tokyo for a show. Mm-hmm. I believe the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she took off last night, headed there.
Okay, I don't have a tracker on the plane. It is.
I know.
It's like a 12-hour difference. I don't know ahead or behind. She may be able to time travel to get to Las Vegas in time for the Super Bowl. I'm sure we'll have special reports on it. That's all I'm worried about. Will Taylor make it to Vegas for the Super Bowl?
If she doesn't, NFL will have half the viewers. So NFL needs Taylor there so they can get their viewers up.
All they need is the chance that she'll be there.
You're right. They're expecting this to be by far the most viewed Super Bowl. So,
well, there we go. See you guys Friday.
See you guys.